This is an awkward moment.
The Cavils are more mysterious. The Cavils seem to have a great investment in protecting the hierarchical order.
There's a suggestion that perhaps the Cavils exist to keep the Cylons honest.
Atmosphere is nitrogen, oxygen, fresh water.
At the end of the second season, they found a planet that was hidden from the Cylons in a nebula. So they stayed on this planet that they christened New Caprica.
Probably pneumonia.
So give him something.
I'd love to. I've been out of antibiotics for months.
The New Caprica experience was not going well. And then, suddenly, the Cylons found them anyway.
Cylons just jumped into orbit. And the fleets jumped away.
They arrived in force, so then began the Cylon occupation of New Caprica.
What do you want to do now, Captain?
The same thing we always do. Fight him until we can't.
Ready? Now.
Fracking insurgents.
After several months, Adama and Lee came back with Galactica and Pegasus and managed to rescue the human population.
This is Apollo. Do you read me? Start up reply!
Kara went out on a mission where she got into this weird headspace. She was flying towards this gas giant and she started feeling drawn into it, and eventually she spiraled straight in and her ship exploded and she was killed.
No!
And everyone aboard Galactica certainly felt the impact of that death. The reverberations of it were still being felt, by the end of the third season, when suddenly a Viper appears and Kara's inside and says,
I've been to Earth, and I'm gonna take us there.
there's a lot of questions going into year 4 about who and what is Kara Thrace.
This song here, Alvin. I hear it everywhere. But I can't really hear it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like you can grab just a part of the melody and then it goes away, like it's something from childhood.
At the end of the 3rd season, we revealed 4 of what we call the final 5 Cylons. There's Anders, Tori, Colonel Ty, and Chief Tyrrell. And essentially, they didn't know they were Cylons until the end of the season.
After all this time, a switch goes off just like that.
Colonel Ty is probably the biggest Cylon hater of all, which was one of the great reasons why he made the perfect Cylon.
I am an officer in the Colonial Fleet. Whatever else I am, that's the man I want to be.
You got a slight hint about their initial reaction, which ran the gambit from horror to disgust, and then you're out.
What's their connection to one another, and most of all, who's the final one? Who's the 5th of the final 5? Kara is still technically married to Anders, and so exactly how Sam's going to react when she walks back aboard Galactica, they both have a lot to talk about. She's dead and he's a Cylon, and they're married. So it's much like most relationships, actually. Season 4 picks up literally where Season 3 ended in real time.
Don't freak out, it really is me.
There comes a bit of a split among people and their loyalties about who's going to listen to Kara and who is not, particularly with Adama.
Where are you taking me to?
To your new life.
Baltar discovers a new role for himself as a religious figure. In the Cylon world, we see divisions and pressures for the first time. Real conflicts develop between them, which create certain dangers and certain opportunities for the Colonials. Laura Roslin's cancer came back at the end of the 3rd season, and her cancer's not going to go away this year, which will also inform her relationship with Adama.
Sam.
You all just stay the frack away from me.
The 4 Cylons will try to figure out what they're supposed to do.
All running into the common theme of these characters asking themselves the terrifying question, will I sabotage my own people?
No one's asking anyone to forget or to forgive. But we have to look to the future.
This show has a built-in ending. They're looking for a place called Earth. And eventually, they gotta find it.
Commence jump prep. We're going to the Ionian Nebula.
In order to honor that principle, the show's got to end.
We all want to look back and go, wow, it was really great right up until the end.
In 3, 2, 1, jump.
Keep your space pants on for another special exploring Battlestar Galactica's place in modern pop culture. It's a proper phenomenon. Make sure you've got the new series locked into your Sky Plus. It starts next Tuesday at 9.